Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, officially welcome to the channel. This is a series where we're going to look at the history of various different ways that developers have made to help interact with video games. So, today we're going to dig in one from Nintendo. I know, what a shock! A quirky game control from Nintendo, who knew? However, this one came out before they went too crazy with this idea. Let me introduce you to something. The DK Bongos. Let's get started. Coming out in 2003, the Bongos were designed to work with a series of Donkey Kong games on the GameCube. Now, this was one of the earlier times that I can personally recall that a game accessory was specifically made to allow the player to do a more rhythm-based game. Now, that's not to say that rhythm games didn't exist before this. They absolutely did. They just more commonly used inputs from the controller rather than a specifically designed controller tailored just for that game or game type. Now, with this controller you could hit either bongo, clap, or use them in conjunction as well. The stages were set up in a typical rhythm game style, with Donkey Kong on the top, who would hit the bongo you hit along with clapping along. The game oozed tons of charm and personality in the classic Nintendo fashion, and was pretty well received overall. In fact, the initial game was so successful it would go on not to get one, but two sequels, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat and Donkey Konga 3. Comically enough, at least in Jungle Beat, while it still used the bongos, it was not a rhythm game at all, which is very strange. You would have to slap and clap your way to victory using the Congo drums. This was a bold choice in gameplay design that sort of turned the entire concept of platforming on its head. Not that anyone should really be surprised to see Nintendo, of all companies, turn a genre on its head, especially one it had dominated for years and years. Just looking at this gameplay alone makes me think that you would want to use a regular controller to handle all this, but somehow, some way, Nintendo made it work with bongos of all things. Sadly, as far as the more international releases, this would be the last one. There would be one other game, Donkey Konga 3, that played much the same way as the first game, but only ever really released in Japan, and had tracks more inspired by Japanese taste with the more anime intro songs and J-pop styled songs filling out the majority of the music's roster. What makes this particular oddity so very interesting is not only that it did it with such an odd controller layout, but the ripples that it had throughout the industry as a whole. You see, the Bongos initially released in 2003 in Japan, and 2004 in the United States. With it being out and multiple sequels all selling well, the industry got the idea of other rhythm-based games using unique controllers. Yep, you guessed it, Guitar Hero. Just a year after the US release of Donkey Kongo, we would get the initial release of Guitar Hero. Later on, we would get Rock Band and then DJ Hero, all of which would include not only guitars, but drums, mics, all the way to like records that you could scratch. Basically, this gave you a plethora of multiplayer games that all worked, and partly due to a small set of Congo drums that Nintendo thought up several years previously. So in a sense, we kinda owe Donkey Kongo for the huge surge of rhythm games that filled literally near a 5-year span of gaming, along with our living rooms with tons and tons of plastic guitars, drum sets, and record scratchers. The appeal of these bongos seems to be more appealing long term than just the games. People have used them for all sorts of madness in subsequent years. A quick search online will show you people using them to type, beat the Nameless King in Dark Souls 3, no, I'm not kidding, somebody actually did that, play Elden Ring, even type a sentence. This goes to show just how fun, dynamic, and goofy the whole thing was that people continuously keep finding new and creative ways to use them. I even found images of someone making them into a hitbox for fighting games. Seriously, you can't look at that and tell me that's not the funniest and coolest thing you've seen in a while. But what do you guys think of the bongos? Did any of you ever own them? How much or how little did you enjoy them? Did you find any other creative uses for them outside the main game? Let me know in the comments. While you're there, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time, happy gaming.